The covert narcissist or introverted narcissist. This one is also sometimes referred to as the vulnerable narcissist. This one can also be male or female. This one tends to be much more understated and can be humbler. They can often play the victim or can be found in roles such as pastors or caregivers. They seem like they are the nicest people ever at first glance, or to people who don't actually know them behind closed doors. I sort of think of the grandiose narcissist as the wolf and the covert narcissist as the wolf in sheep's clothing. This one is much stealthier, more passive-aggressive, and in a lot of ways more dangerous because they are super difficult to spot initially. The covert narcissist may rush to the side of a person who is in the hospital and stay right by their side the entire time, but it might be an odd display of care because they may hardly know the person. It will be a strategic move calculated to garner favor for them. Covert narcissists love to play the victim for attention. For example, a female covert narcissist mother may appear to the outside world like a wonderful mother, while purposefully manipulating situations with her adult children behind the scenes so that when her children do finally reject her, everyone in her outer circle who isn't aware of the real story will view her as the victim. She then does nothing to attempt to repair the relationship with her children because she would rather appear to be the victim than have the relationship with her family. This is because, as a covert narcissist, the attention means more to her. The last one is the malignant narcissist. I think of this one as Darth Vader. This one can also be male or female and has an overlay of being a sociopath or having antisocial personality disorder. This one has no problemo with ruining your life. The other types of narcissists will hold back at least somewhat for one reason or another, meaning they know to at least keep themselves looking good on the surface for as long as possible. This one may not. This is a scary narcissist. Definitely steer clear. So, for example, this is the one who might lie and say that a person is a child molester when they have never touched a child inappropriately or even thought of a child in an inappropriate manner. Or this is the one who might become a stalker, threaten violence, or actually carry out acts of violence. Narcissists are motivated by one thing and one thing only: narcissistic supply. They're like rats in a maze. Supply is their cheese. It is their food, their lifeblood, and their oxygen. It is anything that feeds their ego. That narcissistic supply is what they are after at all times. Picture animals on the Serengeti constantly scanning and looking for their next source of food. Narcissist brains are always in scarcity mentality, so they will do anything to protect their supply sources. They will beg, borrow, maim, lie, intimidate, gaslight, threaten, stalk, maybe even kill to protect their sources of supply. It is literally survival to them. Well, narcissists have spent their entire lives ensuring that their prowess for reading people is as adroit as possible. They know how to read their targets and become the perfect person for you. During this phase, narcissists will often use a technique called mirroring, where they will dress like you, talk like you, and even use your mannerisms so that you find yourself liking them even more. During the love bombing stage, you will be completely overwhelmed by emotion. This phase for the narcissist is really a grooming phase too. It's a conditioning phase. It's the beginning of the manipulation. They are testing you to see if you will be a good target. Are you an empathic person? Will you provide what their ego needs? Do you have enough value for them in the forms that they are seeking, whatever that might be? They might be seeking money, sex, a place to live, prestige, social climbing, career climbing, looking good. Narcissists do not choose you because you have so little value. They choose you because you have so much value. They choose you because of what you can offer them. Narcissists are excellent opportunists. They attach themselves to you because you offer something to them that they want. Those who provide supply to the narcissist are treated as if they are part of the narcissist, meaning you belong to them and are expected to live up to those expectations. Narcissists see their supply as their possession, which is why they have no boundaries when it comes to their supply. The purpose of this phase is to continue the programming and get you more under their power and control. The grooming and conditioning are continuing here. It's highly likely that you are an empathic person. They often prey upon targets who are going to want to save them or help them, or who are kind, generous people. Then when they rage on you, have tantrums, treat you poorly, or act irresponsibly, they can blame it on having a horrible childhood, a terrible ex, bad circumstances, or whatever, and you will feel sorry for them and want to help them. Get ready to become public enemy number 1. Whether you are doing the discarding or they are, the wrath, it is a-comin'. Hell hath no fury like a narcissist scorned. For one thing, abandonment is what they fear most. Narcissists also see things in black and white, according to Bill Eddy in Splitting, meaning you're either for them or against them. If you're against them, then you are their enemy. The discard phase is the final stage of the narcissist relationship and is by far the most painful for you. During this phase, the narcissist will want to take you down before you can take them down. This is where you see the birth of the smear campaign, meaning where they go to third parties, sometimes called flying monkeys, and start to try to get people to be on their side and against you. That narcissistic injury is really triggered here, and you can really see the narcissistic rage come flying out. You will not get closure. You will not get them to acknowledge anything they ever did to you. Remember the 4 F's. Forget about 1, telling them they are a narcissist. This just opens a can of worms. And then, of course, they will spin the conversation around so that you become the narcissist. Forget about 2, closure. I personally had a hard time with this one. I thought I would be able to wrap up my relationship nicely and cordially with the narcissistic business partner, but this does not happen. They are not capable of happy endings. Forget about 3, getting them to see they are wrong or to have any regret about their behavior. Even if they say sorry, it's all a manipulation and a faux apology. Don't fall for it. They are liars and can't help their narcissistic behavior. No contact is the way. Cut off the supply source and get what you want through applying the sleigh method, then move on with your life. Forget about 4, them seeing your side or what you contributed to the relationship. It's so unsatisfying, but you just have to know what you gave and then give yourself to others in the future who appreciate you. Forgive yourself, heal, and move on. As more than likely, they will continue to want to get supply from you. Now you're mad because of the unfair circumstances you're in. Listen, they were liars when you were in the business or personal relationship with them. They will be way worse now. Even if they say they want to resolve it amicably, it's an insidious game designed to continue to get supply from you, and it will never end. Hierarchy of narcissistic supply. As I explained earlier, narcissistic supply is anything that feeds a narcissist's ego. Because narcissists have no sense of internal value, They feel like they must extrapolate all their value from sources outside of themselves. That feeling of deficiency and emptiness inside of them is like a beast that must constantly be fed, and they use people to feed that beast. The black hole inside of them is like a bottomless pit. They're so desperate for you to fill it, and you, as this empath, who probably also experienced some sort of trauma in your life, also probably want to fill it and save them in some way. But this hole cannot be filled. Whatever you put in is never enough. This is why narcissists are sometimes referred to as energy vampires. Before I had the language to even know what I was dealing with when it came to my covert passive-aggressive business partner, I remember I kept thinking of the word leech. I felt like she was a leech sucking the life out of me. You feel totally drained when you're in these relationships because they are constantly manipulating the situation so that all your energy is directed one way, toward them. The river of your energy has to flow one direction and one direction only. But there is a hierarchy to narcissistic supply. There's one type of supply the narcissist values over the other. On the top, there is what I refer to as diamond-level narcissistic supply. This pertains to how narcissists look to the world. Diamond-level supply is grade A supply. Narcissists will protect and defend this form of supply at any cost. This is anything that enhances the outside world's perception of the narcissist. Examples of diamond-level supply would be the narcissist's public reputation with employers or employees, prestigious careers, impressive friends, especially celebrities, accomplishments, even if made up, lied about, or attained by unethical means, huge bank accounts, again, even if attained by cheating others. The second form of supply is what I refer to as coal-level narcissistic supply. Coal-level narcissistic supply, in a nutshell, basically refers to the energy narcissists receive by insulting, degrading, controlling, and manipulating others. This is also very important to narcissists. They do want it all. This is the dark underbelly of supply. This is what the narcissist saves just for their targets. I always think of this as the deadly 3Ds: devaluing, debasing, and degrading. This is part of the devalue phase, obviously, and where narcissists get off on controlling people because they are getting fed from this. Remember, this is a source of supply from them. Anywhere that they are getting a source of supply is a place that they will stay. They are like vultures. If there is a food source to be had there, then there they will be. This is a food source for them in so many ways. They make the target doubt themselves. They exhaust the victim into submission by tricking them. You ultimately feel utterly and completely devoid of energy, as if a leech has sucked the blood from your body. You must remember that. Examples of coal-level supply are insults, passive aggression, purposely provoking chaos, triggering emotional reactions in you, demeaning behaviors and words, manipulation and intimidation tactics, using children as weapons, refusing to provide discovery in court cases, filing fraudulent false pleadings, lying about you to third parties, ghosting you in texts and emails, stalking, yelling, criticism, mind games, ignoring your needs, withholding money, threats of violence, hiding money, gaslighting. The biggest myth about negotiating with narcissists is that they just want to win. But, and this is a huge but, They also enjoy the process of watching you squirm and intimidating you. They will not give up their coal level supply without a fight. Narcissists adeptly use people and any means possible and necessary to wring every piece of narcissistic supply that they can out of every situation, regardless of the cost to others or themselves. One of the absolute biggest problems with negotiating with narcissists is surprisingly not the narcissists. It's the people around the narcissist who continue to try to interact with them as if they are not narcissists and expect them to act like and feel like they themselves do. That's like saying just because snakes and eels look alike, they are the same. They are not. Narcissists fight dirty. If this were a physical fight and you were two kids wrestling on the playground, they would be the ones biting, pulling hair, and kicking you in the groin. Thus, coming at them directly is not the smart strategy. That is the naive strategy. For those of you who have battled narcissists, the way they take over your brains and bodies is stealthy, insidious, and masterful. You really are almost powerless to their level of skill. They have studied you and know exactly how to present themselves. Then you become public enemy number one. That's when you're in the war and you are the target of a full-on assault. Get ready for a massive, grievous, aggressive, and offensive attack on you. Here's the problem. If you've already been in a relationship with a narcissist, very likely it has already affected you in every possible way. Physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. You're already utterly and entirely depleted. But it's even more than simple exhaustion. While I mentioned in Chapter 2 that negotiating with narcissists is totally different from negotiating with non-narcissistic people because of their hidden agendas to continue to extract as much supply from you as possible, they have very often spent months or even years conditioning, weakening, and destabilizing their targets so as to create an unfair advantage in the negotiations. Narcissists use a variety of methods that can even lead to long-term psychological trauma or CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, something one experiences after having been repeatedly traumatized over a long period of time. People who have CPTSD can experience difficulty with sleep, flashbacks, problem with emotional regulation, impairment in alertness and reactivity, a re-experiencing of the trauma, difficulty in performing regular daily tasks sometimes, migraines, and feeling hopeless. And it can even impact mental acuity. Thus, when it comes time to negotiate with the toxic person, it is clearly not the same as two reasonable, mentally healthy people coming to the table. Because very few people understand narcissism, and even fewer understand the impact that narcissists have on the people around them, the majority of the people who are negotiating expect everyone to be negotiating as though everyone involved is a mentally strong, healthy person. And it really is a subtle takeover, almost like cult leaders do with their victims. Narcissists are predators. They chose a form of supply that had a lot of value. You are not a victim forever. You are a person who will not only survive this temporary situation, but you will overcome it and be so much stronger as a result. Narcissists, by and large, are not people who can be rehabilitated. They will have to live with themselves. You, on the other hand, will take your pain and turn it into a purpose that you have yet to see. I have worked with clients who have been terrorized by narcissists and who are now living proof that narcissists don't get the last word. No one, and I mean no one, can help you win if you don't believe you can win. They only win if you give in. Once you start to identify what a narcissist is and what it is that you're dealing with, the corner starts to turn quickly. I don't like the term victim because I know the power of words. What follows the words I am is everything. You are not a victim. You are a target. You are a survivor. You are a winner. Start saying, I am victorious, and explains the false self is the person that narcissists create early on in their lives in order for them to feel like they can survive. It's the person they want to be. The true self, then, is their inner self, the shamed one, the one they desperately are hiding all the time, and the one whom they hate. The false self is the one they display to the world, the one who must gain control over people, and the one who demands adulation. The true self to the narcissist is one who is weak, shriveled, useless, and disgusting. This true self must be hidden away at all costs and is never to be revealed.